And we're live. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 3 of the Sword of Victory. I'm Bob the GM, and we have with us our guest of the night. Definitely the biggest / only guest streamer we've had really on the show so far. AP, Arthur.
Hello, I'm APGamingReal. I thought you guys got Eric Fulgaris. Maybe he's coming up later?
Coming up later. You got it.
Eric is definitely more modernly prolific at running Pendragon than I am. I'm a Twitch streamer who's been doing this for almost a decade. You can find me over at twitch.tv/APGamingReal, youtube.com/APGamingReal. I've run some Pendragon a long time ago in the past with a very different group. How are you doing tonight, audience?
Wow, I feel like I gotta step it up now.
Thank you. Yeah, with that, I'm going to toss it over to Thomas. Thanks, AP.
Hello. My name is Thomas, and I have much less experience. But, yeah, you've all been following my experience through this game. I will be playing Sir Edrich of the Winterbourne Stoke.
And down to Mark.
Hello, I am Mark, and I shall be playing today Sir Florence of Idmiston, the foppish golden-haired knight.
Right? You know, he would make such a good Arthurian knight.
He would.
Too
He's
bad we're in the
really
age
born
of
in the
Uther.
wrong era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
put
that's
him in
going to be
a-
his arc. That's what I'm feeling.
They gave him a gold like picture frame to carry around with him at all the different round table meetings. He just kind of stands in the frame.
Mhm.
And on that note, hi, I'm Liam. I'm playing Sir Perin of Durnford. I am the other foppish golden-haired knight, but the one that's not nearly as pretty. Yeah, I'm very excited. Perin's been through a lot of really fun, interesting stuff while his friend is miserable. So I'm having fun. I'm having a good time.
Right. All right. So I'm going to make a brief, for those that have been watching and aren't huge Pendragon nuts, I've been off on something pretty significant so far. There is a kingdom and a Duchy of Cornwall. Gorlois, who I've previously pointed down here in the red, is actually up here in the green. So the Duchy of Cornwall is Tintagel, Ascalon, and Gigant. That's where Gorlois' ability to muster troops comes from. So when he makes the call, these groups, these areas, would respond to his muster. He does report up the chain to Uther, technically. But we've seen how that worked out in the previous battle, for example. Why don't we go ahead and start with the Castle Tintagel? So we're going to do a brief, just a real brief intrigue test for the 3 new players, Thomas, Mark, Liam. Why don't you go ahead and give me an intrigue test? And I'm going to give you a brief sort of montage for the start of this game.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Success.
Oh! Critical
Damn.
for me.
You can tick that as always, Thomas.
Come
Already
on.
taken, unfortunately.
What a
Oh,
day.
Liam.
It's
Wait a
only-
minute. When did?
Don't
Well,
worry.
hold on. When did this happen? When did your lad get better at intrigue than mine?
I was always better at intrigue.
His family skill is intrigue.
Yeah, he gets a bonus.
Yeah.
I wish. You know what? I wish you'd stayed with the Saxons. Honestly.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you wish that more.
So the wedding ceremony itself goes off without a hitch, and we're gonna give you guys some info about what you might know about that. So let's start with the critical is gonna be more info. So we're gonna start with Mark. Something of importance. Anything in particular you'd be looking for? Names, faces. What interests Sir Florence? Probably none of that, right?
None
Is
of
it
that. Yeah, I was about to say.
pretty
I don't know
women?
why he
Yeah.
succeeded. Probably, yeah. It'd be the women of the area,
Okay, perfect.
people of notability.
Okay, well that one's that one's easy. But why don't you? I'll give it to you with intrigue. I think you have to lean over to ask. You see what is presumably Duke Gorlois. He's up further in seating arrangement than you, but you see with him probably the most beautiful woman you've ever seen in your entire life. She stands proud and tall. I'm talking appearance 30, I think, something along that line.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all eyes are on her when she walks by, but I think especially for Sir Florence. You kind of whisper over to the knight beside you, which is Sir Leo, and you say, who is the lady? He turns to you with a whisper back and says, that is Lady Igraine, wife of the Duke.
Lady Grain, you say? As he turns his attention, looking towards the quite beautiful lady, and then his gaze slightly moves over to the Duke. Takes him a few moments to kind of weigh his options.
Okay.
Even with the Duke not looking at him, feeling that kind of harsh stare, reconsiders his previous thoughts.
All right.
Beside you, I imagine Edrich, just arms folded behind his back, looks up to the sky and says, "Oh God, thank you."
I think for Edrich, with the critical, I'm going to give you a few names that you're familiar with here, and this would have been you sourcing out details as you mingled within the celebration, and then, within the ceremony, and then after the ceremony. You know, those minutes between things where nothing is said and the whispers are had. So you know that is Duke Gorlois. You know that is Lady Igraine. You know he has 3 daughters. They have 3 daughters together. The 2 of them are, none of them are of age yet. So 2 of them are around the 12-10 range. Morgause and Ellen, I want to say. Ellen or Elaine, one of those 2. I'll get it in a second. The 3rd is still young, still like a toddler. Okay.
Gotcha.
Interesting. Okay, well that would explain it.
On top of that, as we move into the ceremony and the feast, you know of one particular famous knight. Why am I having trouble saying this? Sir Meliodas, there we go, of Lioness.
I'm going to have trouble spelling it. Give me a quick sec.
Don't worry, I'm about to post it publicly for you.
What is...
So if you know in the roll 20 here, it's this guy.
He owes this what?
So Sir Meliodas,
Meliodas.
he is the son of a king, actually. But not the firstborn or the secondborn, son of a king. But he is a renowned knight.
Indeed.
So he must be friends with the folks.
But yes.
Yeah.
Very
Edrich is definitely making his, putting his best foot forward and schmoozing, getting all these names because they'll be useful later. And anything to avoid a recognize roll. Anything to avoid a recognize roll.
Roger that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move into the post ceremony, into the celebratory feast. This is gonna be a 5-round feast, and we know, of course, that Duke Gorlois is above the salt. Not only that, but he has offered the high table to Sir Brastius.
Interesting. I wish I had succeeded in intrigue roll so I could ask more questions about that.
Can I ask more questions about that?
You've got what you have right now, but there are 5 rounds in the feast to ask all the questions you want. So
Fair enough.
yeah, we do something slightly add-on with this AP. So we give the PCs like the end of the round a little bit of come back together and chatter and see if they have any plans or anything they want to work out, just so they can do that in character and make it more interesting.
Of course. They're player characters. They need that time.
Exactly. Why don't we get the three of you to make your appearance rolls, and then we can place you and begin the feast.
Alrighty. Now, Law of Averages says that I'm going to absolutely fumble this and eat with the dogs. Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh, buddy.
You guessed
On
it
the
I
right
love
floor.
pulling
away.
this stuff.
I want
Um,
something good to happen to you. Just
Well,
one.
technically,
Don't worry.
He
I
rolls
still have to
again.
roll. I roll one more time, and if I fail, then I'm with the dogs.
Okay.
mhm.
Okay.
If you fumble again, I swear.
Okay,
Hey!
so you're just below
I'm
the salt?
below the salt.
That's not so
I'm just
bad.
below the salt.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh boy.
I don't think we've had anyone sit on the floor yet.
No.
No, we got
No,
close.
Not in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not when they weren't squires.
Exactly.
I got a success on my appearance, because of course I did.
All right,
And
so
I got one as well.
Edrich
I'm
and
hideous
Florence
now.
are near the salt. Oh, sorry, Perin and Florence are near the salt. Edrich is.
Oh, yeah, you're so right. Edrich got a facial scar that lowered his appearance slightly, and suddenly he's not recognized from the feasts. Oh.
There was a mishap. They had one side for Salisbury and the other side for the Duchy of Cornwall, and or for the guests of the lady and the guests of the knight. And looks like a lot came out for the lady. You're finding it very difficult to get your seat placed properly, Edrich, and you find that your name just for some reason fell off. Was it bottom? Was that a slight? Was it? Do you want to go
Who
ahead?
can say?
Yeah. Trusting versus suspicious, I think, is a pretty good one for that. Did the lady slight you?
Oh, indeed.
There's some intrigue there. You know that she had a near romance with your cousin. Is this
Yes.
a slight as a result of it?
The last time we spoke, things seemed to go relatively well, but of course, there are rumors surrounding my name. I think she's wonderful, though. Look, let me quickly roll suspicious.
Yeah, unless you crit, I'm pretty sure we got. Wow, that
Yeah.
was close.
Look, Edrich has a suspicious mind, very analytical, but Lady Violet is a lady of very good breeding, and she's quite nice. She helped me out with quite a few things. I'm sure it's an honest mistake, and I will sit on the floor normally.
Right?
Oh, sorry, sit below the salt, as is appropriate.
We're going to. Okay, so with the trusting 10, yeah, I think what this works out is if it were any other scenario, you'd be suspicious, but Lady Violet's reputation, and you have some personal rapport with her. So you're like, no, this couldn't be.
Yes.
You're able to stuff it down, even though the suspicion was rising. Also, that's another critical.
Exactly.
You can tick that.
Yeah. I already had intrigue checked from before, so unfortunately that was somewhat wasted. All right, trusting is.
Trusting you can. Okay. So I think you guys have what you need going into the feast proper. I'm gonna give. So normally we start with above the salt, but and give Duke Gorlois a special sort of GM action. You can choose to go anywhere you want in the order. So you default to first because you're above the salt, but if you'd like to hold off for a round and interrupt at any point, you may do so.
I will go last to give these players an opportunity to do some hijinks or perhaps even approach the table.
Perfect.
If they are brave enough.
Thanks. So you see that the Duke and his wife have taken sort of the seat that normally would belong to the lady and his wife, or the newlywed couple, and given them the high seat for the night. And with that, we'll go to Sir Florence.
Also, before we go to Sir Florence, hey Bob, I'm getting lots of requests in the chat for the feast food to be rolled.
Oh, really good point. Really good point.
We got to know
course.
what kind of disgusting medieval food we're having.
So we have some
Turnips with
This doesn't sound too bad.
turnips baked with cheese.
That's the
That's
dessert
very
choice.
English.
Custard with dried fruit to start. That sounds. I could have that right now. Actually.
Yeah, it sounds
It's
alright.
not terrible, eh?
And stuffed boar is normal. I'd eat stuffed boar. I'd do it right now.
Right. Likely hunted by Gorlois himself. Right.
I looked up stuffed boar, and all I got was plushies. I didn't consider.
Guessed wrong. Yes. So on Sir Florence's go, I'm going to do a classic him and draw a fuck me up card.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh yes.
Drop
See
the
how
beast
that
deck.
behaves for you.
Did we get to enough glory for you to pull 2?
No.
No. Oh my.
no.
Biggest mistake.
The biggest.
Okay, so
Oh my
I'm gonna
god.
stretch this out for us.
Alright. Several knights talk merrily about their greatest gaffes. They ask you to share your biggest mistake. Roll or rate. Oh my god.
Oh my god. This is gonna go so bad.
This is not gonna go
Very
well.
likely.
Alright. So, well, I should probably think of what exactly he's talking about when he talks about his mistake.
Well, I would recommend actually you roll first because you might
Alright.
talk about something more,
Yeah.
you know, like
That's
better, more appropriate, you know, more fitting
Yes.
if you pass. So.
I feel like it's unlikely. Uh,
I'm pretty certain that I've never made a mistake in my entire life, actually.
you know what?
No,
That-
I can imagine him like humble bragging, like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I remember this one time I was too pious." Oh,
yeah.
I was so too hot that actually one of the baronesses, I won't mention who, tried to have her way with me, but I refused because this body is saved for God.
I mean, that's probably on brand for what you would say. It'd be something along the lines of, there was this time where I was just simply too good at drawing the attention of the ladies of the court. I simply was overwhelmed by them. It was very unfortunate.
I love Sir Florence.
All right, I think in that turn, so there has been some gossip going around recently about Sir Florence and the Baroness Pomponia. So I think there are some mocking comments in return about the Baroness of Pomponia.
My.
Yeah, why don't you make a proud roll? Because it paints you in a shadow that didn't actually happen. You walked her to her room and you left.
Yeah.
Right? But that's not what the
He's a
rumors
pious
say.
boy.
Yeah, and these knights are kind of like, I bet,
Mm.
Oh no.
Oh boy. At the wedding. Oof.
hmm I love this. Fucking Florence is such a goddamn drama queen. And the dice know it. So yeah, I think it's the comment about the Lady Duchess that just causes Florence in an unusual stroke of anger to just literally throw his gauntlet at the ground. As he just says, "How dare you besmirch the name of the Baroness?" In fact, he'd say something along the lines of, her role and rank is a God-given right. To besmirch it is to besmirch God's decision himself.
Do we have a problem here, Sir Knight?
I think we do. Pick up the gauntlet. We shall settle this in the next morn.
All right. I'm gonna figure out who your person is right now.
The last time we developed a long-lasting NPC that we latched onto with pure hatred for an entire character arc, It was also because Mark's character challenged somebody to a duel, or vice versa.
I think it might have literally been this card.
All right.
It was certainly close. This guy has a profound hatred for all Saxons.
Oh, it's a shame. They could have bonded over that and gotten over it, but...
All right, so you are scheduled for a duel the following morning with Sir Owain. And of course, I'm going to say that Gorlois, you've definitely noticed this antics happening. So this wasn't good too, because it's like, I guess it's sitting on Brastius' side, not mingling so well with a knight from Salisbury on the lady's side. All right, so we'll continue down the chain. It's over to Perin with that.
Perin! So, I'm obviously, we're all pretty aware of the Duke Gorlois situation. What's the vibe? I would like to make an intrigue, shocker, and kind of try to pick up what the general vibe of tension is in the room. Are people legitimately celebrating, or is there an air of like distrust and resentment that's kind of seething in the room underneath everything?
Okay, and so this is your action, is to kind of get a sense of the room, whether or not there's a high tension here, or whether or not people seem to be mingling. Sure.
Yes.
I think that's definitely your intrigue roll then for this one.
Right on.
Or intrigue action, I should say.
That is a success.
All right. So, in general, there is actually quite a bit of celebrating. There seems to be a lot more merriment, I think, over on Brastius' side, maybe, than here, than your own Salisbury side. But you're not sure whether or not that's, people just being less enthused or having a problem. You don't pick up on any particular problem, though, of note. The Count in particular, Count Roderick, is very stoic through this. But he is polite in his courtesies. Lady Ellen, on the other hand, is much the opposite. She's mingling and right in there, making sure to cross the lines over to the other side. If you had to guess, if there was anything that wasn't personal and was more of a high tension, is just Gorlois' reputation with the king, and whether or not being here might paint any of y'all in a bad light. I mean, technically, it's one of Uther's subjects, so there's no issues with it. But I think...
Right. Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, the vibe generally seems like people are making the effort, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right.
I mean, save for Florence literally demanding a duel in front of you.
We don't count Florence. Florence is his own. Florence is his entirely own demographic. It doesn't apply.
Okay. All right. Then on to Edrich for Below the Salt.
Alrighty. I was going to see if I could look into some of the underlying tensions, but if Dalen has done that, I would like to... Oh boy. I would like to also pull a card just to see how much worse things can get.
Okay.
Wait, give me a quick moment, and then we'll see how things develop from there. Host calls for a hunt?
Interesting.
Okay. Could you make that slightly larger?
Yeah, I can blow that up for you.
The host asks you and your friends to join him in a hunt or at falconry the day after the feast. Anyone who agrees to join the hunt receives a tick in falconry or hunting. A player may decline this offer, but suffers -3 geniality.
Okay, so I'm going to modify for the structure of this game. I'm going to maybe modify the card. I'm going to give this to Arthur first. Is this something Gorlois would do? If not, we can make this Brastius offering.
I think Gorlois would certainly offer it to these three as long as Roderick is included.
Okay.
A private conversation with Roderick suits me well.
Right.
I don't like that.
Why don't we do the interrupt action here? Does that make sense for you? Give you, Arthur, your action for the round, and then we'll translate that into this card from there.
Gorlois will stand and say, Knights of Salisbury, I do not know your faces, but words of your deeds have reached here in the west. I see among the company gathered in Cornwall great and skillful knights whom I would speak with. Be not afraid to approach me, for I offer to all of you and to your liege an invitation to join me, falconry on the morrow. And then I sit down. And I lean in and talk to my wife.
All right. She whispers back with a smile. And okay, so with that, is there any additional actions or tools around the hunt that we need to account for here, guys? I don't think so, right? Just you get to choose to accept or not.
Yeah. And if you agree, you can get that tick. Now, it was falconry specifically, so I shall do that. I am better at falconry by the slightest amount. So hopefully I won't embarrass my entire family.
Interesting.
Okay, so Duke Gorlois, do you want to make an action in particular this round, or do we count that card as your action? Your choice.
I think we'll count that card as my action.
Perfect. So we are on to round 2, but before we jump to round 2, the players, you can come back together and mingle if you'd like.
Of course, there's something to talk about. Edrich is going to approach the salt, just near it, going to speak to his companions. He has a bowl of custard with fruit and is eating as he goes. And he just stands slightly behind between and goes, "So I see we're making friends already."
Florence himself is like slowly pulling on his glove, going, I mean, what was I supposed to do? Couldn't just let them besmirch the name of the great Duchess?
I think they were
Yes,
besmirching something else, rather, but...
Still, quite,
Oh,
I
Baroness.
suppose this will make things a little bit complicated.
Surely not. It's just a humble duel between two honorable knights. I'm sure this won't have any further outreaching consequences.
Have you fought a duel before, Florence?
No, this will be my first one. I'm
Do
actually
you-
quite excited.
I see. And do you know the terms of the duel? Is it to the first touch, to the first blood, or further than that?
I don't think we actually decided. Suppose I'll have to decide when I see him next.
You know that the challenged knight decides.
Yeah. I think that's what some of us would know.
It's okay though.
Say-
Sir Florence read about duels in a book somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
could say, should you need a second to either resolve the issue or just for appearance's sake, I would offer my services. Though, admittedly, my swordplay skills have not served me well of late.
I'd also volunteer myself to be a second. I've seen you fight.
I sure appreciate that. I'm not going into a joust or anything. I'm sure it can't be that complicated.
Suit yourself.
The trouble comes with its simplicity, but yes.
Is there a particular tree on your property you'd like to be buried under?
Wow.
Please. I have a plot of land that is set out for all my family members.
Ah, Perfect. I'll make sure that the arrangements are in place just in case you need it then.
I do not know that knight, but I can't imagine he's better than Salisbury Stoke. I hope.
Exactly.
Here, here. Do you think if we got in touch with Sir Jaren, he'd be willing to fight the duel? I remember he was so
Yes.
eager to volunteer last time. Maybe we could just throw him at your challenger.
I was somewhat raised alongside him. He is willing to fight anything, anyone, all the time.
Exciting. Reminds me of your cousin.
That's not quite how a challenge works, though.
I know.
We're more poking fun here in the
Yeah,
situation.
I know.
In any case,
I'm just
I should
rising
get back to my seat.
Okay.
Is there anything in particular we should look out for? The hunt seems to be... the falconry test seems to be odd. Do you think he heard of our finding of the sword?
It's a hunt
That was most
regardless. It's a hunt regardless. It's just what you focused on, your falconry or your hunting. But it is a
Yeah.
hunt.
Florence just shrugs.
I see.
And
Well,
I'm just having fun. I don't know about you two. I mean, it's a
I'm
wedding, isn't it?
yes. It is a happy occasion. Regardless, we'll see what happens.
Can you have fun, Edrich? Is that a thing you can do?
I'm sure it's happened at some point.
Oh, come now, my friend. Have a glass of wine. Have some... What's up next? I think I smelled some boar coming from the kitchen.
Or would be nice. But, might I remind you, the last time I got inebriated was, actually didn't go too badly. Unless you count the interaction with Count Roderick. No, with Sir Elad. Anyway, I must away. I'll let you take the wine. I'll see what happens when it gets to my place below the salt.
Right.
Alrighty then.
Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into round 2. Gorlois' choice again. Hold or act?
I'll go last.
Okay. Florence, you're up. Round 2.
With that, I'm going to draw one more fuck me up card.
Hell yeah.
Ooh. Host calls
Toast
for a
for
toast.
This is not uncommon at weddings, so that's fair.
The
We're
host
getting a lot of
rises
host
and calls
cards
for
now
a
that the
toast.
host is our guest.
Yeah.
Gorlois will stand. Knights of Salisbury, my brothers in arms of Cornwall. There are many who know Sir Brastias as my captain, and as my right arm against the Irish invaders who beset our shores. I am deeply honored to attend this matrimony between Brastias and Lady Violet, a match that I have been attempting to secure for some time. They deeply honor each other. Is there any here who might toast them?
Sir Edrich will certainly attempt it, but my courtesy is low. I'd like to activate a passion of hospitality.
All right, go ahead.
Boy,
This
you
is where
insane.
Yeah, I know. If
Are
I
you prepared to
fumble,
rip
it's
your
gonna be
clothes
bad.
off and run around naked during this wedding?
Actually, I picked hospitality specifically because that's not on the cards. I'll just
Yeah.
get horrifically depressed.
It wouldn't be the first time too, really.
Mm,
Okay, success on hospitality.
Okay.
yeah.
Now, all of us do have geniality, which I've put in our Discord.
Glory
so
tracker?
we have some modifiers to this. No, it's in Knights
No,
of
in the
Salisbury.
main. Yeah, I see it. Cool.
So that would be for me +6, so that's a 9. Edrich will raise a goblet, perhaps an empty one, and will say, "To a strong union."
Here, here.
I think
Oh,
yeah.
hey!
You survive.
Yeah.
I think it goes. I think it goes over well. And by the way, when
Others can if they like.
others can
Because it's
chime
all
in.
players.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not gonna narrate then. Let's check with the players first. Mark or Liam, would
You want to go
characters
next,
act?
Liam?
Why doesn't Florence go next? I'll go last.
That Florence stands. His blonde hair flows behind him, smiling with his perfect teeth, as he says,
Ooh.
"To the Lord and Lady, to an eternal happiness in their union, both among us in Logris, and when we reach our final rest among the heavens. God bless."
Here, here.
So far, the toasts are going well. Lots of good responses. No pressure, Perin. Should work out fine.
Statistically, it is very unlikely that I fail this, and I'm so scared.
Admitting that means the
Oh,
opposite.
yeah!
Hey,
Look at
yes.
you guys.
Very nice.
Damn.
Perin kind of stands and raises his glass, and he goes, I don't know the groom very well, but I do know the bride. I fought together with her. She's a strong woman and a very smart one, and I know that the prosperity of any land is guaranteed under her watch and gaze. We've lost a very good friend and a very good woman and a very good leader, but we've gained new friends in the process. To their union.
The Union.
Okay, and so that one in particular draws a lot of attention. There's a lot of responses to that, but all three go over really well. And in fact, when Gorlois stood, one thing you would all notice when Gorlois spoke and he referred to his subjects in Cornwall, they all responded. They're all drumming the table and shouting. Like there's a strong respect for this man here. All right. Excellent. So the tension, I'm going to say with that critical and just with you all succeeding, I think that tension that was there, especially no thanks to Florence last round, has died off a little bit. And maybe it's a little help from the wine as well. People are having a good time. So. Okay. Where did we leave off? Whose action was that?
That was
Florence.
Florence's.
A lot happened there
Perin.
in a short time. All right.
right.
On to Perin.
I have more politics to do, but I'm gonna do it later. For now, feast time. I'm gonna draw a feast card.
Okay.
Emergency!
Oh no.
The guest sitting
Oh.
next to you begins choking on a piece of food. Oh god. He's got the roast boar. He's got the stuffed boar. I need to roll first
Things killer.
aid, which I was at one time very good as a squire, and I'm decent at it now, so we'll see.
This is no pressure. This is just your aunt. So.
Oh, cool.
Wait, hold on. Let me
personal.
read the failure because it has to be a knight.
Great.
Right?
It will kill her if you fumble.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's what I wanted attention for. Perfect. Yeah.
No, if it fumbles, you might actually kill and somebody else has to intervene, and you lose 5 geniality and have to leave the
And
feast.
you have to leave.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a big one.
So no pressure.
Don't embarrass herself.
Do I get to include my geniality on my first aid roll? I do, right?
I don't think so.
Don't
Yeah.
think
It's not
so.
a
'Cause it's not a
courtly
courtly
skill.
skill.
You can invoke a love family passion.
I am absolutely going to do that. This is important enough. And I don't include my geniality on the passion roll either.
Correct.
No.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm in it. I'm
Okay.
alive.
You're in it to win it.
Just don't
It's a
fumble.
plus-
Just don't
Plus
fumble.
5. Yeah. Fumbling is still an option.
Hell yeah.
Barely success. That's enough.
Dice are coming up in your guys' favor for the most part. I can't
Yeah.
wait till the next battle where that turns the opposite. I think.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
Not
a
bode
good,
well.
it's a good feast.
All right. So I think what this means is Lady Fleur will she will excuse herself. I think it's a bit embarrassing for her, but you get the success there, and the people around you are impressed with it. So Perin actually,
Yeah.
Perin had
There
a
were eyes
previous
on me.
cameo as the critical squire for his first 8 attempts prior. So we have a little doctor here in the making.
Just call me Churgery or
Divergent?
Churgery.
Divergent?
Chirurgeon.
Yeah, you got it. Lovely. Well, I'm glad my aunt survived.
She did, but she'll be out of commish for this particular round. All right, and then we go on to Sir Edrich.
Got you. At this point, the centers of attention have been Sir Florence for the challenge, and Sir Perin for the critical toast and the saving of his aunt's life at a guest in these halls. Edric's going to use the opportunity to mingle a little bit.
All right.
Sir Edric would like to speak to either Count Roderick or Lady Ellen, if he could.
Okay. Yeah, it's doable. They're only in this setup. They're only they're above the salt, but they're not like they're not at the high table or anything, right? So they're accessible.
Yeah. I don't have to do the whole like go up the stairs and then a U-turn to get to them like I did last time.
You don't have to evade, their bodyguards or anything to reach them. Not directly, anyways. They're close to you. The only thing of note, I guess, is that it's likely to be. So your aim is to gossip and mingle, yes? So
Yes,
it will be an intrigue action. If that's the case.
Alrighty. So, quick question: does my invoked passion still apply to this, or?
I will say yes. I think I as much as I'd like to say yes, I do love like the battle rules and the other things where it's like you have to invoke it per round, since it's it's almost like different scenes within a scene.
I mean, potentially the feast is going on across several hours too. So
yeah, that's just it. But I think for now, I think so far we've ruled it as you get the bonus. I mean, you are risking pretty significant outcome if you fumble.
Oh yeah.
But the risk will be like once you use it once in a feast. Actually, we'll go to that later when we change the rules. For now, it's you roll it, you pass, you get it.
All right, let's see how this goes. Oh, that is a critical. That's a natural 20.
All right, natural 20 too.
what is going on?
I know
I don't know.
You guys
A lot's
bring your
going to
cheat
turn
dice
and I'm
or
going to
what?
get shot in
Yeah.
the throat.
Get
I'm
them all
gonna
out of
get
your
shot in the
system
throat by a
now.
stray arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like the most pointless death we have. Okay, once.
Absolutely.
Okay, so which one are you approaching or aiming to approach, or both? The Count and Lady?
Let's go with Count Roderick more specifically, because I had a question I wanted to ask.
You see the Count, he's, Ellen's at his side and Meg and Elad are with him. They're all kind of mingling. They seem to be in better spirits, and you can tell by the Count's cheeks, this is probably the first time you've seen him near drunk. Yeah, he seems pretty happy right now. Seems to be enjoying himself.
Of course. I like to imagine with a critical intrigue, what Edrich does is kind of swooping. One moment he isn't there, and the next he's just like at the side going, "My liege."
All right. Yeah, I'm good with that. Oh, no, he scared me. Edrich.
Forgive me.
Sir
Yes,
Edrich,
that's right.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Enjoying yourself?
I am. My injuries have healed, and, well, the night's been interesting, certainly. I'm thinking of taking the Duke up on his offer of hunting. It has been some time since I've done it for pleasure. I had a question, if I might be so bold.
Of course. He's
Earlier-
kind of like, you can tell, because this is more like business, that funness in him is fading a little bit as he's like,
Yeah.
you're like buzzkilling him a little bit. But that's fine.
Oh, that's bad. That's Edrich's gonna make this quick and then fade before he can fully remember.
Depends on your situation, but you did pass, so it's not going to be. Actually, sorry,
Yeah.
you critical, so I'm not going to do that to you.
No, don't worry about it.
I think it's more
Edric
like
is a bit of a buzzkill.
yeah, but I think this is going to reflect positively. So, continue. I interrupted.
It's all right. My question was, when Duke Gorlois spoke, he said that he had heard of some of our deeds. How much of that refers to the Sword of Victory? And if so, would his connection to Uther sour that a little? Would our names be put in a bad light if that were to be public?
Roderick just shrugs. Like, you can tell it's like, this is out of his wheelhouse, that question. He's like,
I'm the only one who's worried about this. Oh no!
I know that Gorlois and Uther, and then that Lady Ellen says, my lord husband, I have heard that Duke Gorlois is particularly suspicious of Merlin and anything he might be up to.
Right.
I-
My thanks, Lady Ellen.
Yeah, and with that, Roderick says, yes. Yes, Lady Ellen speaks it right. Now that she mentions it, it might be unwise to mention the king or Merlin or anything to do with them in his presence, beyond, of course, what is expected. But don't shy away from who our service is to. There's no need to pretend that we don't serve Uther. He is our king, and rightly so.
Without a doubt, as it is our nightly duty. Thank you very much to the both of you for your time. And I'll leave you to the food.
All right. So I think
What? Who's paranoid? I'm not paranoid!
that 20 intrigue you can go ahead and tick.
Already ticked.
Already ticked, right? Because you already won that. Lady Ellen, I think you've made a positive impression with Lady Ellen, because I don't think you've really had one
Hey.
yet. So there you go.
That's good. I like Lady Ellen.
All right. And with that, we go to Duke Gorlois for round 2.
I'm scared. I'm in danger.
What I like is that your intrigue roll is the same as my intrigue roll. For you
Indeed.
see, as was mentioned, I am suspicious of Merlin, and yet from across my halls, I hear his name whispered. So I would like to gossip about Merlin using my intrigue and add my directed trait, suspicious of Merlin.
Let's do
So
it.
I have a 20.
All right.
Oh, yes.
I, Gorlois, am approaching Roderick. Count Roderick.
I forget how they pronounce. What do you say to a duke? Duke
Your
Gorlois.
Grace.
Your Grace. That's right. Your Grace.
Your presence brightens my halls. You have brought with you many strong knights. I can see some of them are filled with feck. I hope that, in particular, Sir Florence is well prepared for the challenge tomorrow. Is he a duelist?
He is trained in the sword.
He is trained in the sword.
Indeed.
I
Sir
imagine-
Owen is a knight of incomparable combat against the Saxons, and I believe that he has served this court well in the occasional joust against the Irish. Irregardless, Did I hear you speaking earlier about Merlin?
Yes, some knights here. They had mentioned a recent encounter with the strange old man. And
Man. Do not be confused, Roderick. Merlin is no man but the son of a demon.
I've heard the rumors.
What business do your knights have with such a pagan sorcerer?
I hope very few. Only those which the magician has drawn into them. Sometimes, with the king's right of rule and him being an advisor to the king, he has asked for knights' aid in various tasks. I was there the day that we fought the Saxons up north. The tunnel of mist that allowed us to prey upon them at night. He might be beyond this world in a way I can't explain, but his intentions seem in the favor of Logris.
I have found you a man of reason and justice. But I warn you with the wisdom of years. A druid and a pagan like Merlin cannot be trusted. His dark sorceries will bring an end to what bitter peace we have earned through blood. His machinations bring a darkness to us. I am sorry to embitter these halls during this wedding with such talk. Please, eat, drink, be merry. I would not add to your years.
You're a gracious host. Let me not speak his name in your presence, your grace.
He is unwelcome in the lands of Cornwall, I say as I stand up and move back to my seat.
He nods. And Lady Ellen pats Roderick on the shoulder as Gorlois walks away and being like, "You did good." You know, courtesy not necessarily being Roderick's strongest, most favorable note. Okay. We're gonna give the players a moment before we move to round 3 of 5.
I was also about to say, as conversation of Sir Florence comes up, it just cuts to him drinking and laughing and chatting with some of the serving girls, as he is obviously flirting with, without a care in the world.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I think fun times. Maybe this Duke Gorlois guy, maybe he's not so bad. It is what it is. Yeah, I think Perin is also just kind of enjoying themselves, kind of separate from everybody else right now. But they'll be around if Thomas has something specific that they want to involve the group conversation in.
There is one thing, but it's mostly just, it is kind of fluff. It's the safety of your family member. But I imagine with another plate, this time of boar, Edrich approaches and he looks at the retreating back of Duke Gorlois mere moments after he finished talking to Count Roderick, and he says, "I think I started a diplomatic incident myself. Anyway."
What?
Never mind. It's probably fine. In any case, Sir Perin, how is Lady Fiora? I saw her, choke and you save her. Quite notably, I might add.
She's fine. It happens. What do you mean, probably fine?
I mean, I can't be sure. I was simply testing the waters, and then I saw those waters were not as uninhabited as I thought. We'll see what happens. Everything's fine. Go back to your...
No, humor me. Elaborate. I'm operating on information. I'd like to know a little bit more.
Understandable. And Edrich will turn slightly to include Sir Florence. I merely approached Count Roderick to ask if our connection to Uther, the sought victory in Merlin, might be looked upon unfavorably by, well, Duke Gorlois. Apparently, it would be, according to Lady Ellen. And mere moments after I asked that and began to leave, Duke Gorlois approached, which was worrying. Nonetheless, I'm certain it should be fine. Simply don't bring up our connection to Merlin, such as it was, minor as it is.
I'm deeply grateful you elaborated because I was literally about to just do that to most of the servants here. So, good. That's good information to operate on. Thank you, Edrich.
I'm glad, and I'm sorry I kept things vague beforehand. But yes, no matter how minor, no matter how vague, let's just
based on what Dallin has told me before, I have to admit, even though I'm having fun, I'm a little uncomfortable.
How so?
Well, it just seems that everything here is so pleasant. Does that make sense?
It does. You expected more tension, knives in the dark. But here people are, gathered in bonds of courtesy, nobility, and honor. This is the world of night.
I, for one, far prefer this atmosphere to the one that you seem to have suspected.
I do as well, but... Well... My uncle used to have a saying that the bigger the smile, the bigger the knife. Something along the lines. Yes, exactly. There's something about this event that just...
On that note, sorry to cut you off.
Ooh, yeah, no, that's a good place to cut.
When you say that, there's someone standing beside the three of you, kind of waiting not to interrupt. Does that make sense? Continue. Sorry to cut you off in the middle of a monologue there. It was good.
No, that's all good. That was pretty much the wrap up there too. It was just like so everything is too decent here, and it's kind of weird.
And I think that's the perfect time to like fade off as we notice the person.
Yeah, it's sort of like it throws you. The reason why I interrupt is, sometimes someone else can throw you off. That threw you off what you were saying because someone's within earshot of.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you spoke of your uncle, this is one of your uncles from your father's side, right? That actually is part of your house. Yes.
Correct.
Okay. This man approaches. Give me a recognize roll, Liam.
Oh no!
I believe in you.
Oh, do I get to add my geniality to this one?
Yes, you do, and you've got a ton.
Fuck yeah! I'm gonna crit this.
You get a +9 plus a +5, so...
If I roll a 1, I will fumble.
You can't. Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Can't fumble. It'll still be a success.
Yeah. You meant if you roll a 20. Roll a 20.
There you go. Yeah, sorry, I meant if I... Yeah. All right, there we go.
Okay. He looks really familiar, and it takes a minute, because it's been about 15 years since you've seen him. This is your uncle, Arta. He is your mom's brother. He's from Asclen County in the Duchy of Cornwall.
What was his name one more time?
It's A-R-H-T-U-D-D.
Artem.
Artem. Tud.
Arted.
Tud. Like,
Hud with a T.
It's like
a U.
It's basically Arthur, but it's like long, it's old.
Awkward.
There we go. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I should have just typed it out. That was
he kind of like leans out of the conversation for a moment and he goes, Uncle Arted?
I thought that was you, Sir Edrich. Or he says Edrich and he says, Sir Edrich.
Do you mean Perin?
Yes. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah.
You had to take one after I took one.
It
happened. Yeah.
Sir Perin.
It's so good to see you. And he moves in for a hug and he goes, oh, it's been ages. What has it been? I was quite small.
This is before you were a page, even, if I recall correctly.
Well, how have you been? I have to admit, it's been difficult to keep track of everything. Where are you stationed?
Well, I'm in Ascalon, and I came out to see Sir Brastius, and, well, I don't know Lady Violet, but she seems wonderful. They seem like a great
She
match.
is. Oh, she's wonderful. She's smart as a whip, that one. I had the pleasure of traveling with her for some time while Count Roderick was looking for a wife. She's absolutely wonderful. I have to admit, I'm a little sad to lose her.
You won't be losing her. I'm sure she'll be able to return home from time to time. She is very good at, mingling, they say. She has a lot of friends.
Indeed she does. Indeed she does. Can I get you something to drink? What brings you over to this side of the table?
Well, to be honest, I saw Lady Fleora choking, and then that's when I recognized your heraldry. I not even considered that you were of age. Seems time flies.
Things were rather difficult for a few years. For a while, Sir Dallin was the only knight of the house, and while they accomplished a great many things, they also, they were stretched quite thin, so... But I believe by the end of either this year or the next, we should have 3 household knights, including myself, which puts our house in a relatively more stable position. We're doing excellent this year in general as well. Oh, my manners, I'm so sorry. This is Sir Florence and Sir Edrich. They're my friends.
He nods to both of you.
A pleasure.
Mine as well.
He looks to Sir Florence a moment, and there's definitely like an exchange, like, oh boy, like, more so probably from the recent tension. He says, are they close friends of yours, Sir Edrich?
Perin.
I will get it right one day. I'm gonna blame this.
It's all right.
This is the fault of episode 3. By
No,
episode 4, I'll have it down.
I understand. You just don't love me or my character. I
Exactly.
Get it. Yeah. He laughs and he goes, well, we've only known each other for a little over a year, but I'd say they're the closest friends we have right now. And I imagine the same is true of me to them?
Without a doubt.
Oh, indeed, Sir Perin.
Well,
We led a failed charge together, so we've bonded quite well.
I see.
Even though our time in battle together was short and less than stellar, it still provides a bond between people.
Hear, hear.
Then I'll offer you a bit of information that might come useful. The knight,
I sparkle.
the knight in which you've challenged is proficient with the sword. You should be wary about tomorrow going well.
Delightful.
I see. Well, I so look forward to the duel either way. Shall be quite the event.
Artid nods to you. This is don't let me keep you any longer. Perin, when we have some time, I'd like to ask you a little bit more. I tried to reach out to Lady Fleora when she was the steward of your house and regent of your house to see if she needed any aid. I couldn't help but feeling that perhaps I wronged her. She never replied in turn.
That is quite strange. She has been exceptionally busy, but I'll see what I can find out for you. Are you planning on staying for the weekend, or?
I will be here, and I will most certainly join His Grace's hunt if I am, chosen.
Well, in that case, I'll have to hunt you.
He laughs at that awkwardly, and he says, Well, I'm abstaining from the drink tonight. Trouble with my foot these days when I drink too much.
Of course. I'll see you around then.
All right. Perfect. And we are on to round 3. That was a little bit longer than anticipated for that. Sorry about that, guys. Why don't we dive into round 3? Back with Gorlois. Gorlois.
It was pretty much all our fault, but continue, sorry.
Yeah. Gorlois, your choice. First or last, or anywhere in between.
I will go first.
Okay.
Rather than perform any actions, I would like to summon Sir Florence to speak with me at the table.
All right.
Sir Florence humbly accepts.
What an honor.
So this big man over here comes over. He's wearing the garb of and has the heraldry of Gorlois. He saw him standing in almost like a bodyguard type fashion prior. He approaches and stands right in front of Florence, who's currently flirting? What is Florence doing right now?
Well, he'd be like, having his drink and finishing it quickly enough so the serving girl has to come by to fill up his cup and hear his witty one-liners.
And you can tell very clearly that he's waiting patiently for you to notice him.
I think after an amount of time, just enough that it becomes weird, Sir Florence would turn his attention to the man and go, greetings, Sir Knight. I do not believe we have had the honor of meeting.
We have not. With that, he doesn't continue with an introduction. He says, His Grace, Duke Gorlois, has humbly requested your presence.
I see. Well, then I humbly accept.
He nods. He's, this guy's kind of like Goretrix's size. He's up there, size 17, 18, somewhere in there. He begins to wander back. And then he doesn't go right back to the Duke. He assumes you're going to go, so he goes back into his position overseeing things.
Sir Florence would make his way over to the Duke. A smile on his face. His teeth almost seem to glitter and shine.
Please, pull up a chair.
Of course, Your Grace.
I do not know your face, but I am told that you are the nephew of Bledig.
Indeed. My dear uncle. He is one who is extremely proficient in courtly affairs. I'm not unsurprised that you would know him by reputation, perhaps.
I know you by such a reputation as well, Florence of Idmiston. A knight of the court is what they say of you here in the south.
Well, I suppose that is true enough. I do enjoy myself in these courtly affairs, and I find myself quite good at it.
I am deeply impressed with you, Sir Florence. There are many men who come to Tintagel desiring my wife, and yet you come into my halls and flirt with other women in front of me. It leaves me impressed at your restraint.
Yes.
And so I will offer you a boon.
A boon, you say?
I have been told that you are a man who has been trained to hold a sword.
That is a correct assumption.
Sir Owain. I have observed Sir Owain personally disemboweling an Irish raider upon my shores. I think it might be the better part of both valor and wisdom if you were to send a second, assuming you have chosen one, to speak with Owain's second, so that this duel might not occur.
I see. I shall
Should
certainly-
you not heed this advice, which is, of course, your choice, I have 2 questions for you. Would you do before or after the hunt?
Well, I would think after. After all, I wouldn't want to sully the day through battle in either way. But I
What
shall
would you have
certainly
me
take
tell
the
your
advice.
family?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say it is important that my family know that I do this in the name of the honor of the great Baroness Pomponia.
Buddy.
Your
I do
father
not,
sailed against Vortigern, which makes him a great and honorable man in my eyes. I should only hope that you might do the same against the enemies of our island.
Well, of course. My family have always staunchly held against Vortigern and his decisions. Long have we disagreed with the changes that were implemented by the false king. That's why it is so good to have a righteous king upon the throne. Sir Uther, for example.
Oh.
No, he would say King Uther, not Sir Uther.
Yeah.
It's not that stupid.
What is
Gorlois will pause for a moment, and his knights will notice this pause because they know the subject of Uther is sword here, and he says, "It would be good for this land to have a good and wise king, and that may turn out to be Duke Uther."
With that, there is a noticeable change in Florence's expression. No longer the lofty, kind of airy, handsome knight. It grows almost sharper as he says, I see. Well, I know above all else, King Uther will show his worth.
Will he now? Let me have one more word with you, Sir Florence.
Of course.
I do not wish to disrespect the Knights of Salisbury, but there are difficult situations out here. You think I do not know what they speak of me? That I am not present in the east for the Saxons? Let me ask you, what shores does Salisbury have? You are a landlocked county, are you not? And yet your problems are Saxons, Saxons, and Saxons, are they not?
That is indeed true, Your Grace.
Have you ever been raided by Picts or the Irish? When
My heart
Salisbury
felt full of
Knights,
the Irish once.
when Salisbury Knights hear stories from Uther's men slandering the Knights of Arms of Tintagel, ask them where are the Irish. Someone has to stay here and fight them. I love my people. I have a loyalty to them, and so I stay here and I fight, because without that, the land would be covered with Irish. Consider then, where is Uther? He is in Salisbury, I hear, and lands further east. Where is he not? Cornwall. Loyalty, Sir Florence, goes both ways. Yes, one does owe a liege great service, but I believe you will find that your knightly oath offers duty towards you and the acceptance of counsel. You have poked your head into affairs where loyalty has only flowed one way. But these are dark and dangerous words. and I can tell that you are uncomfortable. I hope that you will return in great courtesy back to your seat and continue your flirting with women who are not my wife.
I meant no disrespect.
I
Your
took
Grace.
none.
And I'm glad. I understand your desire to protect your people. In fact, it is noble.
Sir Florence, you have been dismissed.
Of course, Your Grace. With that, Florence stands and turns. Before he does, he makes one moment. But if I may add one last thing,
Oh my god.
Your Grace.
Boy, man, is there a hospitality roll for this one, or courtesy?
I can.
Oh god.
I love
This is
Florence so
wonderful.
much.
I love Florence so much.
He's the worst.
You know what? I think I like the idea of this being prudent versus reckless, because I think it's clear at this point.
Okay.
It's not advantageous to do this after he's very clearly said you.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So
Okay.
failure
Let's go
of both
failure.
means
Failure?
you
Yeah.
get to make the call here.
I thought if failure in both, you get to make the call.
I do. I think you go to turn to speak again, and you can just tell in Gorlo's eyes that that's not going to sell well. So I will allow you from
Yeah.
there, like the reaction, because
Okay. I think with that, Sir Florence turns. It looks like he goes to say something with a very smug expression, but then he just stops as he looks Sir Gorlo in the eyes, and then he just bows, and then turns.
All right. Interesting times. We're gonna go. Whoa, that was Gorlo's action. So,
Now
Florence.
Florence is coming down from that. Florence is coming down from that, and it's his turn.
I think, yeah, Florence is gonna, as the Duke has suggested, he's gonna flirt with the serving girl. Get drunk. So I'm gonna do a flirting roll.
All right.
And you know what? I'm gonna use my hospitality.
Oh,
Being hospitable towards his host. It's also kind of a slight.
You're.
this is.
I literally told you to do this.
Yeah. So
Welcome.
you're not-
Yeah,
it's not a
exactly.
slight.
It's my invitation.
Welcome, sir, to our
I'm
idiot
so-
squad.
I'm not doing this because you told me to. I'm doing it because I wanted to.
If no one can see
Alright,
Edrich
let's
by this
go.
point, it's not because he's below the salt. It's because he's below the table. He's hiding.
All right, hospitality success.
Yep.
Okay, so it's +5.
Make sure you add your
And,
geniality too.
You've still
Yes.
got a lot of geniality. That's a +4.
I got a lot of geniality. What was it, sir? I think it
+9
4?
all told. You got 4 geniality.
Okay.
+9 total for
All
your
right.
bonus. Yeah.
All right, so I'm rolling at a aim of 20, so I can't fail. Lowest success.
Well, success,
Still does the
success.
trick.
And you said this is not a highborn flirt. This was a flirt with one of the servers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
The serving girls.
Okay.
The criteria was flirt with women who were not my wife. So, yeah. That's
Yeah,
not like.
he's following that.
It's a high bar.
Mm.
All right. So, Sir Florence, you're flirting, and it's going well with the server, and then all of a sudden you feel like a tug at your pant leg. It feels really weird, like in your trouser.
Florence turns to see what is pulling at him.
It's this like little toddler girl. She's maybe 3 or 4, somewhere in there. She's just tugging, and then when you look, she begins to laugh, and then she goes to run off. And you can see Lady Igraine. She runs to Lady Igraine, who stands up and kind of she's out on the floor, as well. She reaches up and grabs the girl into her arms and says, she steps forward for a second, Lady Igraine does, and says, I see you've met my daughter Morgan.
Indeed, I have. Quite the energetic one, isn't she?
She nods. And with that, she'll turn. She's, she overheard the Duke's request enough not to push his buttons here. So, yeah. On to Sir Perin. Liam, you're up.
Sir Perin's turn. Okay. So, question. How much of the Florence interaction was I able to witness? Like, obviously I wouldn't be able to hear much of it, but, like, I would have saw him get called up and then probably how he left, right?
I'm gonna say before you make your event, you can tell that it seems to be going favorably. At the start of your round, it seems to be going favorably.
Okay.
Because it didn't take a hard right till the Uther thing got mentioned. So.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, Perin will kind of keep an eye on it, but he will do what he originally did. I'd like to do an intrigue again. I'm going to kind of move around the servants specifically that are here and mingle in a way that gets me as much information I can about Duke Gorlois and how he is generally viewed by his people and specifically his servants.
Okay. Yep.
What am I at now? I'm at high, yeah?
You're at high. You're at 9, I believe.
9. I didn't get any for this round?
Well, this is the start of your round. So.
This is the start of the round. Gotcha. Cool. Here we go!
Hey!
Does that do it?
That's a natural 20, too.
That will do it.
Damn.
You guys in your high intrigues. It's funny to see the opposite. With the old characters, is like you crushed in battle and then you failed everything in court.
Yeah.
Now it's the
Dallin
opposite.
was good at intrigue. It was Gartrix who was the absolute meathead.
That's true. But Dallin didn't always pass the appearance stuff, I don't think.
Yeah, Dallin wasn't very pretty.
Yeah. So he ended up below the salt. So the geniality wasn't coming in the way it is now. All right. So the intrigue, you're going around mingling and just kind of getting a sense of what. So the gossip in the area, it seems to be talking a lot about the Irish. Something about snakes. You don't really get a lot beyond that. What you get in turn though is you get the knights seem to like really, really respect Gorlois. Lots of praises his way. It doesn't seem artificial. In fact, I don't think you've seen this kind of loyalty in men to their lords ever, anywhere you've been.
Interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he'll kill me if I don't.
They seem to genuinely like the way that he runs things.
Yeah.
Interesting. And that's true of the servants as well?
The servants as well, but less so. That's why they're kind of gossiping. But they seem to have... they seem to work hard, right? The servants themselves. And they also seem to... They don't seem to have like the anxiety or pressure you'd expect the common folk to. They just seem to be gleefully working hard. So.
Fascinating. Yeah. Okay, well, that is good to know. Snakes, huh?
All right. And I think that brings us to Edrich. Is that satisfactory for your 20? I think that's good.
Yeah, that's good for me.
Yeah. I'll give you one more. There is another knight of notice here. You learn that this folk here, who I'm just bringing to attention, is Sir Cador, or Cador. He is a relative of Lady Igraine, the Duchess.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I like his hair and his beard. It's good shit.
Yeah. All right. And so end of the round, we can bring y'all back together. You kind of turn, you're keeping your eyes on the
Skip someone.
I still haven't had my thing.
Oh, I skipped Edrich, right.
I mean, I would like my turn.
Yeah, you'll have
still
it.
good.
You'll have it. What I did want to say though, real quick. So, Perin, you do notice that whatever happened, you can see the look on Gorlois' face and the look on Florence's face as he turns to go to flirt. That went widely different than you a second ago. You walked away, you're like, oh, they're doing really well. It's going really well. Oh, you get the impression there's some strong tension there as Florence walks off. So
Interesting.
yeah. They're both
Right.
being civil about it, but you can still feel the tension there. So.
Just to be clear, my problem is not with Sir Florence, it is with Duke Uther.
Of course. Interesting choice of words there. That was out of character, but I picked up on that. Okay.
Probably the one thing you pick up from Florence is that he walked over there kind of jolly and he walked away a little more straight-faced.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Harder expression.
Florence is a little straight-faced. Something awful
I know.
must have happened.
Something's gone wrong.
His
And-
teeth aren't shining anymore.
Edrich, it's your turn. Sorry to almost miss you there.
Don't worry about it. I have one thing that I want to do, but I will do it after this round because this is a good long feast, and I have plenty of time with which to defuse bombs, or at least do as best I can. In the meantime, let's light the fuse of another bomb, and I would like to draw a card.
I feel like Edrich's energetic must be 19. Is that accurate?
Edric's energetic is 60.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. He's famously energetic. That makes a lot of sense.
If he's not doing something, then he's alone with his own thoughts, and that's not a great place to be.
Okay, go ahead and make your action.
God shine upon me. Okay, the powers above shine upon me, and everyone sees me in a different light. Keep this card. While I do, gain +5 to all courtesy, dancing, flirting, and orate roll. I get a +1 geniality for each success on those rolls. And I roll spiritual every time I get this card's bonus. And on a failure, I discard this card. I can't draw cards while I keep this one. Absolutely gonna keep this card because I like it.
Perfect. And usually we get that card in round 3 of a 3-round feast. So for once, you
Yes.
finally have a use for it. So
I finally got it. But yes, how does this manifest itself? Like, do I get blessed, or does it just happen? Is it like a fair wind blows?
Good sir, this is a household of Christian knights.
No, it's already happened. Don't worry. We've already crossed that bridge.
I'm not sure. Is this maybe? Are you being temperate? Like, are you not partaking in wine tonight? Could that be?
Edrich is very temperate, particularly when drunkenness would lead to further problems. But yes, he's not partaking of the wine or a lot of the libations. He's eating quite frugally, I suppose. He has to... recently, his household was thoroughly trashed by the cruel winds of fate. So he's been eating temperately by necessity, but now he's eating temperately by choice, I suppose. He knows the value of a lot of food, and he knows that a lot of this food is going to go to other people. He can survive on less.
I think it just makes you stand out, so you're still in a good mood. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. So it's going to be a bonus, but it's nothing directly with a blessing this time.
Yeah. Indeed.
But behaving.
And I'm actually Christian this time, and not a big pagan being blessed by every bishop who comes across me.
Exactly. Yeah, you pulled that card a lot. Okay. So this time, for real, we're gonna bring you 3 back together at the end of the round, if you'd like.
Yep, I'm down for that.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Florence is
What?
sitting at one of the tables, drink in hand, smiling and laughing as he's chatting to some of the serving girls that come past. But it's also, to those of you who know him, surprisingly quiet. Normally he can't get enough of hearing his own voice. Now it's more quick comments and then a polite smile.
Sir Florence?
Sir Perin,
Are you... are you alright?
yes? I'm unsure of the question.
It's only that you, well, you've stopped glowing.
What?
Your usual glow, your
Joie de vivre, I suppose.
Yes, you see it too, right?
I
mean,
saw that you.
I'm fine, truly. I just had a brief conversation with the Duke. He was,
Yeah.
it was an enlightening conversation.
See. I
Well-
saw you be summoned away, but not the aftermath. Did you mention Merlin and or Uther?
I didn't mention Merlin.
I see.
That was only one half of the things that he said, though.
Regardless, is everything all right?
It was-
Anything we have to worry about?
No, I think it's fine. I think I just stepped on a sore issue. I
Right.
just had a disagreement. Not anything intense, just different perceptions.
Yes, with a duke. Oh dear.
Yes,
You'd see
multiple
you'd see,
dukes
like,
in his portent.
you'd see like the good mood, like somewhat supernatural though it might be, kind of like somewhat slips away as like instantly like a grimace shoots over his face. But he schools it fairly quickly and says, I see.
The
Does
problem is, I don't think he's necessarily wrong.
Duke Gorlois not recognize Uther as king?
You've pronounced his
I-
name differently 3 different times.
I know. It's not going to change either.
I mean, it's
Forgive-
no secret that he hasn't exactly been forthwith with Uther's summoning. As well, it's basically an open secret that he didn't vote for the High King.
If that's the case, why hasn't Uther made any moves?
Before we move forward, I would simply like to say, is this the best topic of conversation to be carried out here, within walking distance?
Ah, of course, you're right. It's only that so much of the situation is bizarre.
Complicated.
Aye. Right, well, you're right though, it's rather heavy talk for this conversation. For this event, we should be trying some more boar. Do you want some boar, Florence? Have you had any of the boar? It's stuffed. It's stuffed boar.
Is it? Stuffed boar. I shall certainly have some with my wine.
Perfect.
The turnips seem fascinating to me, but Sir Florence, I merely wanted to say, is there anything you wanted me to say, ferret about? Do you want me to talk to perhaps, let's say, the subject of your recent animosity? I've heard troubling
Animosity?
things. Well, yes, you threw a gauntlet at him.
Oh, him! Oh, there's no real animosity. Just my honor. Well, honor at stake. Right, yes, the Duke did also recommend that I get my second to speak with his second. Apparently, the knight I have challenged is extremely proficient in battle.
Right, yes.
Something disemboweled a man in one blow. I wasn't really paying attention, I'll be honest.
I see. Well, quite kind of him.
Huh.
In any case, either I or I'm sure Sir Perin would be happy to speak to the second, whoever that might be. I might be able to find out now.
Well, if you can, I'd be most impressed.
Should you nominate a second right now? I mean, the
I
duel is
suppose I
tomorrow.
should think upon it. Which one of you do I think would be best for that position?
Well, I am the better duelist, and I am the better talker.
I doubt I would need someone to duel on my behalf.
You'd see like a faint dim fire just like burn Edrich's eyes as he like turns his head slightly swinging from Sir Florence to Sir Perin.
The funny thing is that Perin is not better than Edrich at either of those two things, and he knows it.
Let's see. Perhaps we shall make a game of it. Whoever impresses me most between the two of you at conversating among the members of this court shall be my second.
Sir Florence, I'm trying to save your life, not win a popularity contest.
No, I like where he's going with this.
Do you?
Let the decision be in the hands of God.
That same fiery like glare directed upwards. Then back and there's very well. We shall see what happens, and if one's interesting hypotheses, he said, leaning closer to Sir Perin, are correct.
Okay. Why don't we go to round 4? Gorlois, your choice, Arthur. What way do you want to do it?
I will skip making any rolls and summon Sir Perin and Sir Edrich to the table.
Oh no!
All right. So this guy comes over your way once more. I'm going to give. It was Perin that made the critical on walking around and listening in, right?
Correct.
So, this guy is Sir Thebert.
Good.
And he is the Castellan.
I would like to call him by name as he.
Garrison Commander.
Yeah.
Castellan, sorry.
I'd like to call him by name as he approaches us, like before he has a chance to say anything. Like, Sir Thebert.
Perhaps you can help me clarify which ones of you Salisbury Knights are Sir Perin and Sir Edrich?
That would be us. The two of us.
I thought
Indeed, says Sir Edrich. His like neutral expression going into like a half smile, half grimace.
His Grace, Duke Gorlois, would like to speak with you. At your earliest convenience.
Well, thank you.
We would be honored.
Aren't we popular this evening? And he shoots Edrich a glance like, oh shit.
And with that, Sir Thebert will move to walk away with a nod.
Oh, I pray nobody heard me talking about the Uther thing.
They likely did. Let's see how this goes.
I suddenly have a headache. I feel sick. I think I should probably sit this one out.
Stay strong, Sir Perin, and don't leave me alone.
And they both go up.
Yeah, Edric's already striding forward.
Gorlois gestures to 2 chairs which have been brought forward, and he says, Sir Perin, your uncle tells me that you are a valorous knight.
My uncle is very kind. I am afraid I don't have many accolades to my name yet, but I am humbled by his generosity in speech.
I have summoned you both over here because it is curious to me I know the affairs across Logres, across this island, even in Brittany. But it would seem you are ill-informed about the nature of things in Tintagel and Cornwall besides. I am concerned that Knights of Salisbury would question the stock, and he says this with a smile, of my men. You say you are not well skilled at combat, and yet you are famous here for your use of a sword. Is that not true? Are you not honored in your own lands?
We are, and he kind of looks to Edrich, and he's like, we are certainly known for the connection to swords, certainly. But
What an
Well,
odd phrase.
our cousins were the more famous soldiers. We've only seen one battle ourselves, and, well, I enjoy to spar, but my only real accomplishments were from my days as a squire, and they were not worth singing about. Messy, chaotic. I'm more grateful for the lives I've saved than taken, personally.
Messy but successful, nonetheless, he says to Sir Perin. Regardless, we are but new knights, trained as well as can be by Salisbury Knights, but humility is a virtue, and we have not yet been tested. Overmuch, at least.
Do you seek such a test? Might you wish to protect others, Sir Perin? I would invite you to take a patrol around Tintagel. The Irish will come this year as they do every year. You may not wet your blade on their blood, but you may learn much of a soldier and a lord's life. And I assure you, even if you do not fight them personally, they will be here. But before you answer, Sir Edrich, I do not offer offense. I merely am offering an extended greeting to Sir Perin. I have heard of you as well. Your father rode with Aurelius, did he not?
He did.
A great and just man who would have been a very fine king.
We are lesser for his loss.
Indeed. I offer you both the opportunity to seek explanation of the events of Cornwall, since it would seem that our court is seen as lesser outside our lands.
I would never personally make that accusation. In fact,
Indeed not.
I would say that your knights seem to respect you a great deal, and I think that speaks far more than any courtly gossip could. I would be honored to accept your request, if only to see how things are done this way and satiate my own curiosity.
I have noticed that you speak with Sir Edrich, Sir Florence quite often. Perhaps the three of you might travel together. I find myself intrigued by Sir Florence.
He is most intriguing. I have never met another knight like him.
Restraint is admirable.
That's the quality that you got.
I have to roll a courtesy check right now, Bob, to see if I laugh at that.
Yeah,
No,
that's right.
I failed that. I failed that on purpose.
You can make that test if you'd like.
I'm gonna pass it because I've got bonuses.
You've got
but
so much
Jesus
geniality.
Christ.
Speaking of which, I don't think I added it to your thing recently. No, I did.
Yeah, I got my 11. I got a critical at that. No, I didn't. I got it. What? How is that even possible? All right, I got a 7.
You rolled low.
Yeah,
you roll a 1.
that's pretty incredible. Yeah, I think Edrich would be able to notice the barely contained snicker, but like, yeah.
I think even Gorlois would pick up on that. It's just you're able to not cause
it's
offense.
It's not
There
a
are things
thing.
that happen and you don't speak of it.
Yeah, exactly. And he just kind of goes, Sir Florence is a great many things, and I'm honored to be able to call him a friend of mine. I know a great many of his virtues are extremely well enforced.
It is my hope that he does not duel tomorrow if he does not wish it. But should he survive, I would be honored to once more have him in my lands. But this is not a decision you need to make today. I would never ask you to campaign without you seeking permission from your lord.
Quite so.
However, such an offer is not the reason I have called you here above the salt. You may have questions about our land, since it seems that because we do not roam further east, news of what happens here is all that happens here.
I see. I do have a question, but Edrich, do you have something you wish to ask first?
What particular topics would you wish us to ask illumination upon? What do you want us to know?
Sir Florence came to me and spoke of kingship.
Yes.
Are you a godly man, a Christian knight?
I practice.
I believe I am.
I would ask you to look in 1 Kings. Solomon cried out to God when he was replacing his father David and said, "Your servant, give him an understanding heart to judge your people and to discern between good and evil. For who is able to govern this great people of yours?" Kings are not born. They are chosen by the highest in the land, those who have been given the wisdom of God. Kings who lack discernment, understanding, and justice. Are they truly a king? I ask. I am aware that what we speak of, perhaps you cannot answer. But think in your heart, are you carried forward by events only, or do you make choices on your own? For you are invested by the will of God. For you are a noble, and you are only there because you have been chosen by God. Therefore, it is your ultimate responsibility to choose where your loyalties lie. It would seem to me, perhaps, that some in Salisbury may have forgotten that loyalty flows both ways. That people of the land must be tended to, and when that does not happen, order falls apart. Our bond with God falls apart. You ask me what I would have you ask me. I would ask you then, what is a knight? What is an oath? What is judgment and justice? What is loyalty? And do you see it in those around you? Look around these halls. These men would die for me. I say this not as a brag, but because I would die for them. That we fight together, shoulder to shoulder, arm to arm. Even as I see winters and grow old, I will never stop protecting my people. I may not be able to campaign in the east because the threat of the west is so great, and yet I receive no support. Where is the bond of Logres to Cornwall? I would ask you to spread such a message if you have the feck to the east. Where is Logres when Cornwall calls?
I see.
We are mere knights, and do not have the ears of people so high up. And we may bring this message. King Solomon was a legendary king. He reigned in a time of peace. Now, war is all around us, as you've said, on the western shores, on the east, from the north. Saxons are everywhere, as indeed are the Irish. Wisdom comes from experience, but it also comes from calm, waters. The waters are choppy and filled with blood.
It is easy to be a saint in paradise.
I suppose both of you make excellent points, and I will admit, I was not expecting this conversation to go the way it has. I will consider what you've said, and I appreciate you being willing to speak it to us. I do have one question, though, that I hope you'll answer honestly, even if it were to break traditional social norms.
Speak.
You see, like, a minute wince.
Why your particular interest in Florence, Edrich and I?
So Florence came to my attention because there are many men who covet my wife, despite the fact that we are married, bound before God. I look upon Sir Florence and I see a man who covets those who are not my wife in front of me. He does not know the traditions of my court. It is clear to me that the three of you, and indeed many Salisbury Knights, know nothing of us, which is deeply sad and disturbing. And I do not know whether it is by fault of mine or by fault of my enemies that word of my kingdom does not spread for... Sorry, I said kingdom. Word of my dukedom does not spread further. Sir Florence, not knowing this, not knowing my bond with my wife, despite the fact that she is among the most beautiful and desired of women, has come here and chosen to ignore her beauty and seek out the other great flowers of this realm. That impresses me. His restraint is quite admirable.
If you would...
Also, he rushes headlong into a duel that he has challenged at a wedding. He is either deeply insane or courageous beyond words. And I do not know the measure of this man, but I suppose I will find out through his actions by tomorrow. I would hope that if his honor does not call him to this fight, then he will not fight. But should he fight, I hope he fights with the greatest of honor, and that I might witness it.
I'll admit I'm not entirely sure which it is for Florence either.
It is the latter.
I have heard word that you are new knights, but accounted well by your count, Roderick, who I hold in great esteem. And I know of you through your family members. Obviously, your uncle serves here in my court.
Of course.
You are not unknown to me.
Mr. Bob, is there anything I have to roll to try to figure out if he's hiding Sword of Victory stuff from us?
It would be really difficult without something closer to a question, right, around it. You would definitely have to. I'm gonna say that you would have to ask something.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah.
I think.
Harry.
I'm sorry, Edrich. I think Perin's gonna take the chance here.
Okay. No, it's good. It's beautiful.
Perin cocks his head and goes, I see. So it has nothing to do with our connection to Merlin, then? And just very carefully watches his face.
What connection do you have to Merlin?
Recently, he hoodwinked us, and he kind of looks to Edrich for the word, like...
Edrich has, like, slowly turned from Duke Gorlois to just looking at you. Just eyes slightly hooded.
You would do well to avoid that sorcerer. A druid and a pagan born of a demon. You say he has hoodwinked you. You would do best to check that he has not cursed you with any of his dark magic.
Those
There was a
are-
time when men like him were put to the stake.
Those are very strong feelings that you have about him. I
The use of magic among knights is extremely dishonorable. And to have a sorcerer in your court is once, before Vortigern, when there was peace, it was considered madness. Sheltering such a lost, unchristian creature. Are you sure you have not been ensorcelled by him? Pressed into his service in some unknown way?
Edrich is
I-
being very silent.
Yeah, Perin is almost shaking, but he's maintaining that era of like, yeah, this is nothing. I'm just having a conversation. He kind of cocks his head in the other direction. He goes, "Well, I have to admit, he did take us on a journey that, well, I believe that he had intentions for us that we have not foreseen yet. And it was not entirely pleasant, either. I have no strong opinions on the man, only what I have heard myself. I did not enjoy my personal interaction with him, but I will say that he has given us something akin to a gift or a curse. Something that I intend to use in a manner that, regardless of how it came to us,
What is it that he has given you? Speak!
he's given us hope. At least a semblance of it. I think that Edrich, Florence, and I are in a unique position to be something of a symbol of what the future could be. A peaceful future. One where war is not necessary. Return to the times of King Solomon. An icon of what a knight can be. You admire Florence for his restraint. You admired both of us for our skill with a blade, yet we have not seen true combat. We haven't had to. I think that regardless of Merlin's intentions, I think there could be value in what was taken from him, rather than what was given.
What was taken from Merlin?
I suppose the idea of our hope.
You speak in riddles.
It was a very peculiar journey, fraught with many dangers and much misdirection.
Indeed.
As is the case with sorcerers, I imagine, much was ephemeral. Aside from the blades pointed at our throats,
Oh, and the
wielded
troll.
by Fae,
The giant? It was a giant.
a giant.
And
But that is immaterial.
a note on Cornwall: the giants are something distinctly problematic in Cornwall.
Interesting. I did not know that, but that'll be helpful probably.
You say you are tangling with giants, giant killers, perhaps?
Perhaps. Like
Is
Edric
there's
said,
no perhaps there? I am asking you. Or did you not slay a giant?
We did.
The giant died.
A giant.
We were aided.
Yes. A giant died. As Edric said,
We
there was
slew
much
it.
misdirection. We did slay a giant. Florence got the final blow. Am I right in that?
Was Merlin involved in slaying this giant?
Merlin
Not
showed up
indeed
later.
Showed up afterwards with the enigmatic statement that we would do. Regardless,
Slaying
we
of
were
giants
by a
is held
mistake.
in great regard here in Cornwall. You
Truly.
say that you are untested in battle and unskilled with a blade, and yet you have slain a giant, and done so even while ensorcelled on a mischievous path by Merlin.
Giants do not often come up in Salisbury. It is strange for one to admit to such, at least there. But if it is something that brings renown,
I saw a unicorn once too. Is that special here?
just like figure up to the bridge of the nose.
So, Perin, I take it you are not married.
I am not. No.
A unicorn is special everywhere.
I see.
You have spoken a lot around what you have done for Merlin. Did you find a box labeled Hope with the ephemeral dreams of all knights within it? What service have you done for him?
You
Mere
have been.
bodyguards.
You have been deeply honest with us, and so I hope you understand that I don't believe that our Count would wish us talking about the specifics. I have no love for Merlin in the same way that I have no hatred for you, but you'll understand that asking us that question would put us in a very difficult position.
The matters therein are simpler, I believe, than Perin gives voice to. We slew a giant, which brought us to the attention of Merlin. He brought us into a forest where time seemed odd. We slew a four-armed creature named a Nuclevy, which faded into ephemeral mist as it went into the ground, and then from there his business with us was done.
I would hope in the future that you would know better than to make deals with demons, even should they show up out of nowhere and summon you to aid them.
I
shall
promise
take it
you.
into advisement.
Indeed. I promise you, it is certainly something that I will consider.
We have talked around much. I still wish to ask you if there is anything going on in Cornwall or Tintagel that you would wish to know about.
I have the slightest question, and I do hope you will take no offense.
Oh boy, it's Edric's turn now. Perin also shoots him a look, and like there's a moment of like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "No, wait, I just did this. You're fine. You're fine. Go for it."
Is it truly so notable that a person would come into your court and not flirt with your wife?
Yes.
I understand.
So Florence will be talked about for some time.
I see.
I just want to be clear to
Yeah.
all y'all here. I've
To any
run the
of you.
Pendragon campaign 3 times. Ygraine has the magic power to make people love her just by looking at her.
Indeed.
Amazing.
So while your GM didn't make you do that maybe yet, it's a big deal for someone to ignore her.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Definite.
It's
I
coming.
think Perin's
Don't worry.
Parents definitely made some look glances even during.
And
this
just to be clear, my
conversation.
wife is right next to me during this conversation
Yeah.
the whole time.
Mm.
Yeah.
I imagine like Edrich was like a slight look over, like hoping he wasn't being offensive. If you would like, at that point, he could make that roll if needed.
No, it's coming.
but-
It's coming at the end of the round.
Absolutely. But yes, Edrich will say, indeed. And I will say, in regards to his sanity against his honor, Sir Florence is a deeply honorable man, and he is a good knight. We shall see what comes of the duel tomorrow, if indeed it arises.
Perhaps comedically, we could cut over to Sir Florence at that point. Unless AP, you had
Alright.
something else. Yeah.
Now, this conversation went very oddly, but let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
Welcome to the Sword of Victory. Have a nice day.
Edrich has lost all faith in you, Sir Perin. Edrich has lost all faith in you.
I think that went really well, actually.
It did go well. It did go
Didn't
well.
go too bad. I am going to draw another fuck me up card for Sir Florence. As we
Yeah.
cut over him.
Florence is completely unaware of the politics. I love him. Oh no!
Oh, okay.
Oh, it speaks of, like,
Speaks at length.
If you don't want to do this AP, I'm happy to have this
Oh,
be
I want to do this
Okay.
part for that thing we discussed.
perfect.
Gorlois rises, and his men are ready for what is about to be discussed. Throughout the land, we all know what has happened. I say that there should be a great holiday celebrating the event. For our guests, allow me to explain. A good British Christian came west. He was taken as a slave by the Irish, a fact which vexes me so. And for many years he lived among them, until he snuck away on a boat. After earning his freedom, he was ordained and returned to the land of Ireland. He went among the people there just recently. There were many who were curious about the Christianity, for they had never heard of it before. He brought to the Irish something quite great. You may not know this outside of Cornwall, but there is a great cult called the Crom Cruach, celebrants of the Bloody Crescent, who worship a great snake. Patrick went among them, armed with a cudgel, and drove these snakes out of Ireland. He cleaned the land of Ireland of the pagans with the fire of God and made it right for the Lord Jesus Christ. And with that, the Irish will now know that you either have Jesus Christ in your heart, or you will walk the road to perdition. And I hope that one day we might celebrate this St. Patrick driving the snakes out of Ireland. What a man! What a man indeed that I might summon to my court. 3 cheers for St. Patrick!
There's
Hooray!
there's
Hurrah!
the cheers are noticeably more on the Cornwall side than the Salisbury side, but the Salisbury side is doing its best to be courteous in their response. So the first one's a little light.
The snakes, I get it.
That is the actual history of St. Patrick's Day, just so you know. It happened
Yeah.
in the 400s.
Yeah.
Snakes are pagans.
There's
That
no
remi-
snakes he's fighting. He's killing pagans.
He's killing pagans!
Pagans Ebenezer Scrooge.
You gotta make the island right for the Lord!
God, I love that video.
Oh, it's great.
Awesome.
Well spoken.
Yeah, well done. Man, we pulled so
I mean,
many
I
easy
literally
ones.
lifted it more or less straight off of Brennan, so.
Yeah. Dude,
Mm.
no shame in that. Brennan Lee Mulligan is my favorite person in the world.
We've pulled how many host
Lazy.
cards? No, this is wild. We have like this is perfect
Almost every
timing
single one.
for Gorlois. This
Yeah.
is so good.
Particular one.
Alright.
And a
There's
Jedi-
been 3 so far, it seems.
Woo! It's a crit on energetic.
Yeah, there's a roll. Hell
You're
yes.
failure on lazy. Alright, and then I get to roll intrigue. So yeah, I think Sir Florence shows appreciation with this. Though of course, not total appreciation. I mean, after all, it is a British Christian. Not
Oh,
a true Christian.
Oh, you're a Roman Christian, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Roman Christian.
Forgot
Oh
about
boy.
But either way, it's good that the true faith of Christ is being spread to those godless heathens. Yeah, now I get to roll intrigue.
I knew I might need some gossip to drop, so I prepared some things before the stream.
That was great. And also make sure you tick energetic because you critical did.
Oh yes.
Snakes are mindless, godless killing machines anyway.
So
Just
I have
like
11.
pagans. That's exactly what Goratrix is.
Alright, there's 6
Excellent.
I gain A glimpse of what's to come. A +5 to intrigue for the next rest of the feast. For the rest of the feast.
Nice. I mean, you still got a whole round, so that's good. Okay. Moving right along, Sir Perin, it's your action. Liam, you are up.
My turn. Okay. Let's do this. I got my intrigue at we got 2 rounds left, yes? This one and then another action?
Correct.
Perfect. Alright, give me a feast card. I'll save my final thing for the last round. Here we go. Give me that card. Inflamed Passions.
Oh, man.
No.
No, this is
Bruh.
the best time for it to come up, I think, after all that conversation.
Wonderful.
Yeah. There's some, I think this is in response to the Duke's last presentation here. There's probably a bit of sour talk about whether or not this Patrick story is true. Because there are a lot of knights saying, I didn't hear this. And
Okay, reckless versus prudent. It's an even 10 on both sides. And if I get reckless, then we're getting a second duel, baby. 2
Oh,
duels.
man. I believe in you. I believe in you.
Come on.
All right. Okay.
Wait, but
So
it's
some
still
proof.
possible. Reckless could be
Yeah.
higher.
I'm
No,
actually kind of disappointed
well.
by that.
I mean, I'm certain you could go for a duel if you didn't want it to be like decided by the cards. I bet you could go up to a person and just slap him.
The geniality is worth it. I think Perin absolutely like looks at the situation and very much has something to say, and then remembers that he's between 2 incredibly volatile sides that neither of which would like what he has to say. So he does not say shit.
Okay. Noted. Yeah, I think it almost plays out in your mind because you're high intrigue. You're like, this will happen. Then, I'm offending the Duke.
Yeah, he plays the next couple rounds of chess and realizes that move is only going to result in a checkmate for him.
All right, fair enough. Well, we'll tuck that
It
card aside.
it would truly be incredible to challenge a duke at a wedding in his own hall. Let me say that.
Oh my
Good
god.
news is that you would be challenging me actually if I got reckless.
Oh, very well. That would be equally incredible for a different reason.
Lose-lose situation as a
I get
definition.
blasted.
Yeah.
I get blasted with force lightning immediately.
All
Don't
right.
I'm not
understand.
Palpatine.
This is what Edrich has been trying to prevent.
I-
This is what he's been trying to save you two from.
I see the rumors over the last 5 years of game have worked.
Yeah. I hope the Duke likes me actually.
On to Edric's action for the final action of round 4.
Absolutely. I believe Edrich is going to. Okay, so distracted somewhat from the whole. I will make a game of it. Let us see who will be second. Edrich is just going to, coming down from the conversation with Duke Gorlois, he is going to try to find the second of. Who did you declare war on? It was Sir Arthur? No, different person.
Owain.
Did I write down? Sir Owain of Warenstis County.
Yeah.
Yes. Edrich is going to try to approach Sir Owain if he could, broaching the topic somewhat gently.
Do you want to talk to Owain directly, or do you want to go for his second? Try to identify who his second might be.
He's going to try to identify his second.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Level of Astragalus.
Oh boy, he's scared of dragons.
Not like dragons.
All right. Yeah. So you see Sir Level, who you're mingling. Actually, I'm not going to give that to you yet. You have to test intrigue, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to. Intrigue's my jam.
Is it an auto pass?
And Yes.
Okay.
I believe, because I'm impassioned as well.
Right. We're gonna go ahead and I'm definitely changing that rule for the future. With the impassioned
We
lasting.
can. I could not include
No,
that.
no,
It'd still
no,
be
no, for later. Like I will honor it for the
Alright.
game. It wouldn't matter that much anyways. I'm just gonna continue with giving you the info then, and you can still roll to see if you critical. Actually, that won't help
I
you
didn't.
much. Yeah. So Sir Lovell, you see, is flirting with a lady at the time. You're directed through him through gossip and whatnot. You're able to find him within the crowd. He's currently flirting with someone as you come upon him.
Perhaps this is normal for Cornwall. Edrich says, and he's going to approach as deftly as he can. Just as much respect as possible. Just going to talk to him, feel things out. Edrich is not the second of Sir Florence, but he also doesn't want him dead. So,
Yeah, he turns and he says, Knight of Salisbury, I know not your name.
Knight of Cornwall. I believe I know yours. You are Sir Lovell, yes?
I am. He looks impressed at that.
My name is Edrich of House Winterbourne, Stoke. I had been meaning to speak to you for a little bit regarding events that began at the beginning of this feast.
Yes. I do recognize you. I think I saw you with, what was his name, Sir Florence earlier?
That's correct.
Oh boy, a duel at a wedding. Well,
Yes. I believe normally I would blame it on the wine, but it was within the first hour. Regardless, I can say that passions were inflamed.
true.
I don't believe any of us want a duel. I don't believe any would like this incredibly happy occasion, this bond between. Sorry, what's our dukedom? Logres? Or is that the kingdom? Salisbury. Between the Duchy
You're from
of
a
Salisbury.
county,
County,
of,
yeah.
of Salisbury.
County of Salisbury. Got you. Between the County of Salisbury and indeed the Duchy of Cornwall. And we don't want it sullied by a duel in a wedding, or indeed directly after. Is
It
there
does
some
seem
arrangement
to
we can
sit
make?
differently than the proposal of a hunt.
Yes.
Knights will be knights.
Knights will be knights, but at times they have to be protected from themselves so they don't die before a hunt, or indeed afterwards.
Well, I assure you, then your young knight in Salisbury should be concerned with his opponent. But I imagine you're not here to discuss the duel, but rather a way of absolving it, so that
Correct.
it need not happen.
That was my intent.
How
As I
might
said,
you
it doesn't seem portentous.
propose that we resolve such a thing? After all, it was your friend, if I might say, that
Correct.
called for the duel.
Indeed. I came here to speak with you to test the waters, one might say. I do not know Sir Owain. Did I get his name?
Yep, you got it. Got it.
Sir Owain. But I merely wanted to see if he would be amenable to accepting an apology. I would like to speak to Sir Florence, and I would like to see if the gauntlet could be reapplied, so to speak. No blood need be shed. Not tomorrow, nor ever.
Well, Sir Owain is many things, but a fool is not one. He is proud, but a true and honest apology would likely solve things. After all, this is before the Duke's eyes, and I do not think the Duke... Well, he's not likely to step
What's the
in
matter?
directly and deny this. It isn't to his favor. It does ruin the mood. If anyone were to die, then there's a funeral at a wedding. That needn't happen.
Yes.
That's not uncommon, but it needn't happen here, not in Sir Brastius's wedding.
Indeed not. I believe we owe it to both Sir Brastius and indeed Lady Violet to let this not happen. If you would speak to Sir Owain, I would speak to Sir Florence. We can see what can be arranged.
You say speak to Sir Florence as if that has not happened. Is this your idea or is this his? The apology.
This is mine.
He's on his 16 too, so I think he'll take that as he
Yeah.
sighs though. He's like, well, at least you're truthful. And you think you can persuade your friend?
Indeed. Worst case scenario, it can't hurt.
I will speak to him, but I think I need to know first that Sir Florence intends to offer an apology. If not, I will only fuel the fire, so to speak. They have yet to set the details of the duel. Most would say it was to the blood, so we must be careful about making that worse.
Indeed. I'm hoping to get in before the details are actually set, so there's no lost face, no more than already has been. I will return after a conversation.
All right.
And hopefully that's not my next turn, but I wouldn't mind. I'd still do it.
So as the group of you come together, because that's the end of that round, rather than having a moment to talk, you move to talk, and then all of a sudden, Sir Brastius stands and he says, "Lords and ladies, humble guests, and His Grace, our host, I'd like to call for a dance of all. But first, if His Grace would offer it, a dance of the Lady Igraine." Now this is not uncommon for the Duke to show off his wife, as much as he speaks against it. I think Lady Igraine, who's a very good dancer, stands, looks to the Duke first, I think before standing. She nods and stands, and the music begins to play, and she dances. I would like you all to test your chaste versus your lustful.
Now, I know it doesn't specifically say, or at least I don't think so. Could I have God shine upon me work in that regard? I don't want to be attracted to my host's wife.
I'm sure you don't, but I'm gonna say no. Not in
Yeah,
that
it
case.
doesn't say.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm guessing we don't have our impassioned for this.
I think that's correct. I think her beauty negates the
Alright.
impassioned.
Alright.
Hell yeah. Failure on lustful. I don't want to walk into that guillotine. Oh.
The guillotine isn't going to be
Oh,
invented
no.
for like 1,000 years. Don't worry about that.
I know, but Duke Gorlois might be very motivated to make it. Or a very small one at least.
All right, so
I doubt
Liam,
he'll use a guillotine.
we need
We'll
your
just
Bare
insist.
hand.
We'll insist you go to Ireland
Whoop.
personally.
What?
we
What
need
about me?
your chase versus lustful
and
rolls.
chaste.
Oh, yes.
I rolled the same for both.
Yeah, which is bad.
Is that my choice or?
Oh, no.
Oh my god!
Ah, God.
I'm
Perin.
hearing. I'm
I
hearing.
talked
the,
to you about this, Sir Perrin. I talked to you about this literal.
Like,
I
this
asked you for
exact thing.
one thing.
I'm hearing the William Tell opening playing right now in my head right now.
Have anything you want, just not this apple, man. That's the only thing. Just don't.
It's like
Don't press the red button. You're good. What does it do? You don't know.
she was so close
yeah.
though. Now she was like right there. You think she noticed?
I
me?
know she smelt good. Look away.
I think.
Like,
I think to speak of Edrich, I think you're able to. I mean, it's not improper to look, right? But to stare and to start to show those lustful eyes, you sense the Duke is pretty good at picking up on who's staring too hard.
Edrich got that from the barest conversation. Edric's not going to tempt anything. She is the most beautiful person that Edrich has ever seen. Edric's not going to test that. Edric's just going to enjoy the stuffed turnip with cheese.
I think for Florence would be really funny is he's just so used to flirting and to ogling. He's like in a controlled, frenzied state of that. It's he can just sit back and observe like it were any other day, and be interested. And you wouldn't be alone, and neither is Perin alone in the lustful response. There are many knights that are unable to look away and completely infatuated. And I think in this case, Liam, that is 100% what you're going through.
oh yeah. Perrin like had been noticing her like the whole party, but like he was like 5 feet from her, and I think it affected him a little bit in his brain. I think his brain's damaged now.
Please give me a 1d 6 plus 2 roll, please.
Directed traits. Oh god. This is what happens when you don't hang around Edrich.
That is quite high.
You have a directed trait of lustful towards a grain.
That's real bad for you, buddy.
Hell yes.
You're going to be in a lot of trouble in the future.
But your courtesy and such is not so that you do anything awful. I think it's just very obvious to
this time.
Yeah, I should 100%.
Yet.
We run the gamut on reactions from like not tempting anything to riding that wave, riding that frenzy, so to speak, and completely giving in to the metaphorical beast.
Right?
God, I don't know if Dallin would be horrified or really proud. I'm not.
And I am conscious of it already being pretty late as we move into round 5. So let's see about see if we can keep this nice and smooth for the last round here. We'll keep it at a
brisk pace.
Yeah, exactly. Starting with Duke Gorlois' choice of first.
You've asked me to do something, and I will do it. But I will tell you first that the skill you have asked me to do is a 4, so I'm going to start by calling upon my passion for my love of my wife.
Okay, sounds good.
And let me be clear, because I'm preparing for a flirting roll, and I've saved this for last because I didn't want to go insane during a passion roll. Gorlois is going to lean in next to his wife and have a quiet, flirtatious conversation with her that other people are not supposed to hear. This is not him preening. You all get to see it as audience members, not as knights.
Got it.
Okay, let's not do a 20. Let's not do a 20.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking for. Woo!
Hey.
Yeah.
Now you do have geniality too, so you have +2 geniality for 4 rounds, so you get 8 geniality. You have to add to your roll as well. So you get +8.
Well, great. I'm gonna add it to this roll.
Yeah.
Gorlois is going to lean in next to his wife and say, "If you wish to dance, I would never stop you from dancing. I know that the eyes of others upon you can make you uncomfortable, but that dancing is what makes you you. Even after all these years, you continue to surprise me. And I only hope that we can end our days together under the light of God, laughing, for I cannot imagine living a day without you.
Okay. Awesome.
And I'm gonna roll flirting at, if I get +8, +10 for that. I mean, I can't fail. Didn't crit, can't fail.
Do you get a +10 to an 18 passion?
It doesn't
For
matter.
passion?
Yeah, we hacked in. I didn't explain it to AP.
Okay.
We hacked in the new editions rules because they give some more features there. That's all.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter.
If I hadn't done anything, I would have crit on that. Let's be clear.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I may have made a mistake.
Indeed.
And for the audience, Igraine's response is just a really loving smile and nod, and she says, "You honor me."
Whoa, audience. Let's be clear here. A wife guy is a guy who talks about how much he loves his wife. That is not Gorlois. Gorlois is a guy who loves his wife. Period. Not a wife guy. Guy who loves his wife. I'm gonna be real clear.
Yeah.
All right. Please continue without me.
Okay. We're on to Sir Florence, Sir Perin, Sir Edrich. Reminder that you did not necessarily see that. If you'd like to see that in character or involved with that, that will be your intrigue action for the round.
So. Oh, come out. You want to come see me talk to my wife? You come up here. You come up to my table, huh?
Edrich knows better, and he's
You
not
know
even
what?
looking in the direction of your wife.
Just because of that, that's where my intrigue's going. Florence is interested in...
I admire
Yeah.
your restraint, sir.
He sees the Duke and is like, I want to know what he said. I mean, yeah, I'm going to use the +5 because I got that bonus, so I might as well.
Okay.
But yeah. I think this is also like a deeper look into like the Duke when he's not putting up that the wall
Dukely
when they were
mask.
conversating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, go
Kind
ahead.
of getting a look at the man inside. So this is intrigue +5 +9, I think. What's my bonus? Or 6?
What's his
Hold on.
hold on.
9 is your
Geniality.
geniality.
Thank you.
Did I?
Alright.
Yeah, 9 should be fine.
Alright, so
It's a long feast, so
yeah.
you get huge bonuses by the end of the 5th round, right? So.
Yeah.
If we haven't run over the...
And you're passing a lot of your tests. So if you're your normal Uther Knights that are failing all these things, that would be different.
Yeah.
Uh,
Alright, 9.
Yeah, so without the critical, I think it's hard to see the exact words exchanged, but you get the sense that Duke Gorlois is actually very accepting of and very promoting of Igraine going forward to dance. And it seems sincere, and the love between them seems sincere.
Aww.
And yeah,
Florence can respect that.
respect that to the point of a directed trade of any kind? Is that a trusting Duke Gorlois?
Oh, I don't know if it goes that far.
Okay. Just had to
'Cause,
check.
Actually, that's a good question. Can I make a roll of trusting versus suspicious?
Yeah, absolutely can.
This will determine how he feels about it. Alright, trusting. Failure.
Seems the earlier
Success.
bruises made you a little
Yeah.
bitter still. Yeah.
I think there's that moment of like, he's actually kind of a good dude. Like, he cares about his people, he cares about his wife. Then like that comment of Duke Duke Uther just kind of rings in Florence's mind, and he just can't accept it
Okay.
so easily. Yeah.
On to Perin and Edrich. Starting with Perin.
Starting with Perin. Well, Perin would like to make his way over to Roderick and
see if he could talk to Roderick for a second.
I should have specified, and I did not, but just so you know, because everyone is dancing, Brassius and Violet for the first time are accessible in the crowd. Not to sway you anywhere else. Yeah, but.
Adorable. Who's Violet? Yeah, you said Violet.
Violet.
Yeah, no, you said
Lady
Violet, and
Violet.
no. You said Violet, and all I heard was the Gorlois' wife. What's her name?
You're great.
Yeah, you're great. Yeah, you said Violet. All I heard was that you're great. So yeah, Anyway,
I'm gonna ignore her as much as possible.
I would like to try to talk to Roderick if I can. If I need to pull some shenanigans to make that happen,
Nope.
I'll make it happen.
He's accessible. So.
Perfect. In that case, Perin will kind of make his way over and be like, my lord, can I speak to you a moment?
Of course. He looks like he's holding back some serious wine issues right now. He's probably he's short of overly hammered at this point. He's rocking a little bit, and Ellen's like patting him on the back, like.
The good Duke invited us, Florence, Edrich, and I, to run some patrols with him within his lands. He wanted me to secure permission from you to participate in that.
Well, so long as you're not missing one of the king's musters, I see no issue with it. Of course, you'll have to make sure you're not on garrison duty. But that's more Sir Lad's doing. You can speak to our marshal.
Of course. What is your opinion on the Duke?
And I think Perin will just like very gently slide another glass of wine towards Roderick.
He is a war hero. He takes a sip. And King Aurelius trusted him very much. It would not be Ulfius that would be marshal if Aurelius were to stay.
I see. But those are facts.
He nods.
I was wondering what your opinion was.
And he speaks quietly enough that, like, Roderick might be able to presumably speak quietly.
Y'all talked an insane amount of shit inside a hall filled with people.
Yeah.
We're young. We're foolish.
Knights are but men. And there are times where men of great caliber end up on two sides of a war. I believe he is of great caliber.
I see.
But it does not prevent the conflict that we all see.
Thank you, my lord. That is actually quite reassuring.
He nods. He's not sure quite what he said, and he looks to Ellen. Ellen just nods.
Lady Ellen. He looks at Ellen for the first time during that conversation, makes his way out. He's good.
Ellen
That's
smiles
good.
your way and nods. She's more vocal in different situations. Today, she's just making sure her husband survives the feast. So.
Yeah, he's getting to the babysitting phase of the party.
On to Edrich.
Final stage of the feast. Can I talk to Sir Florence as my action?
Yep.
I'd like to ideally not let the duel happen.
Okay.
But yes, Edrich is going to do his best. He's going to approach where Sir Florence is standing, where he went to get the better view of the Duke and his wife.
You see as you approach Florence, you see him just leaving sort of nearby Gorlois and Igraine's table. He wasn't super close, but he was in the crowd, the dancing crowd amongst that.
This has the unfortunate side effect of Edrich seeing Duke Gorlois and Igraine in the same thing, and his heart beats fast, and his mouth gets dry, and he cuts that all out, replacing it with a heart of stone, and just going, oh boy. Sir Florence.
Ah, Edrich. It's good to see you again.
Indeed so. Things have been interesting throughout this whole feast. But I just come back from speaking to Sir Owain II.
Ah, I see. Sir...
The one you
Owain?
The one you challenged to a duel, yes.
Right, yes, that one.
With that in mind, given that you did not quite remember his name, would you say that the duel is worth fighting?
Not particularly.
Wonderful. I have arranged so that if there would be polite discourse on both sides, an apology, then indeed no duel need be fought. And tomorrow you can nurse the hangover, and then we can go hunting with the Duke.
I see. And I have a plan, an idea that is sure to move things towards our favor in this matter. I would like you to act as my second in this matter. You have impressed me and won this little game I have derived. I would
Do me
request...
great honor.
I know. I request that you speak with the second. Say that I am willing to discuss and apologize for my hasty actions, and that I wish to meet them in a chapel, perhaps one that is nearby. We shall pray together as men of God within God's very own house. Let it be so.
Very suitable. All right. I'll let you know what happens. Thanks very
And
much, Sir Florence.
one more thing, Edrich.
So close.
Was it orange? What was... What?
Owain, Sir Owain.
Owain. Remind me tomorrow. And with that, Florence turns around and begins to walk off.
All right.
But yes, and indeed, if it doesn't need to be said, then Edrich will just return to Sir Owain II and let him know precisely what was said. That a meeting on neutral ground should happen, and an apology will be extended.
And you're not going to call him Sir Orange.
No, as long as Edrich reminds him of what his name is.
Yeah.
This, the one thing people will probably start to realize, Florence isn't good with names. He barely remembers the names of the two people he companion with.
Me too, man. That's Liam. That's a Liam issue.
All right.
Wonderful.
But yes, I didn't have to roll for that, so I am good.
Okay, well, I think this is an excellent time to wrap. As much as I'd love to do like the aftermath and see what the hunt looks like, I think
Oh, indeed.
I think that can be set in the background. Maybe I'll talk to AP about it on the side here and see. But for now, let's let our East Coast friends go to sleep. I'm Bob. This was episode 3. Hope you enjoyed. AP, that was great, man. Wonderful performance of Gorlois. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward to more.
My feelings were not mixed about the man, and now they're extremely mixed, so...
We'll go down to Thomas. Your outro.
Hello. My name's Thomas. I have been Sir Edrich of Winterbourne, Stoke, and I have been trying my hardest. Yeah, I had a wonderful time, both as Edrich and as Thomas, and thanks very much, AP, for coming along. You were wonderful. It was great. And
Mark.
that's me. I have no digital presence. I do have a Twitter that I'm using more, but I'll tell no one about it.
It's a digital presence right there, just let you know.
I'm trying to get rid of it.
Yeah. Mark.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. I was just checking out our handy-dandy Discord. By the way, did you know we have a Discord? Come check us out. It's full of lovely stuff like notifications of when we go live, upcoming events, and things that we got going on, and shit posting. A lot of shit posting. So yeah, come join us. I think the link is found on both our Twitch and our YouTube channel. And I have been Mark, playing Sir Florence of Idmiston, the blonde problem maker. And I also have another announcement, to which of interning next week. For I shall be running a special Pendragon Halloween session. Ooh. We shall be streaming it on the 30th, and we will announce the exact time of it on our Discord, so join us to find out. As well, if you're, favoriting our Twitch, you should get an announcement when we go live. Yeah. But stay tuned for what I am dubbing a Night of Dread.
That's really good. I was gonna go with Halloween Dragon or
Halloween Dragon.
Pendoween. So
Pendoween.
Yeah.
But yes, that's me.
Those are way better than the names that I had. I just had Amogus too, Electric Boogaloo.
Liam, you're up.
Hi, everybody. I am Liam. I have been Sir Perin of Durnford. I had a wonderful time, and I have once again gotten my friend Knight to participate in a bet that Perin was uninterested in actually participating in. So, I very much enjoyed this session. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Arthur, for joining us. AP, absolutely excellent. So, bye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
And Arthur.
I'm APGamingReal. I've run some Pendragon in the past. I did not run the Book of Uther, so this is some fresh content for me. And only as a game master, never as a player. So was excited to join as a kind of game master player. Thank you all for accepting me here, and also very astutely talking about the Sword of Promised Victory without actually talking about it at any point.
That was probably smart.
Yeah. I feel like that was very wise. My job as Gorlois is to make you question the actions and intentions of Uther, and it seems that I have done my job well.
Oh,
For
too well, buddy. You did it too well.
I am a just and honorable man trying to protect my people. It is only my greatest wish that no ill fate befalls me or my family.
Awesome. All right, well, that was a wonderful session. Thanks again, everyone, for coming, and we'll see you next week at the Halloween Dragon. Take care.
Farewell.
Bye.
Bye.
Wait,